Hi everyone, welcome to the visual guide for Vanaspati. This is the third new leveling dungeon made available through the MSQ in Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. Running this with strangers may wreck your gear and make you wallow in despair, but before you mouth off at your teammates, I'm here to clear the misdirection. My name is Mistech and I'll be your dungeon guide. In this first section, we basically help our dragon friend murder his people. Yep, bottle up that trauma with the rest of us and move on to the first boss, the Terminus Snatcher. Note of Despair will deal high group-wide damage. Healers be ready. Mouth Off will have a number of mouths appear over the arena. Players will need to identify the closed mouths and stand on them to avoid the incoming explosions from the moving mouths. Last Gasp will target the tank with a heavy-hitting Tankbuster, cooldown, and heal through it. During the next Mouth Off phase, the boss will also face a random direction and cast what is right or left, leaving the entire arena on the indicated side. Players will need to find the closed mouth on the safe side of the boss to avoid damage. Wallow will mark up all players with wide circles. Spread these apart to avoid overlapping damage. Lost Hope will afflict players with temporary misdirection, which will force them in the direction the hand over their head is actively pointing in anytime they try to move. Players will need to carefully and quickly make their way into the safe areas while this debuff is active. These mechanics will repeat until the boss is down. In the next section, you continue the culling. Watch for AoE attacks and don't forget your cooldowns. The second boss is the Terminus Wrecker. Meaningless destruction will deal group-wide damage and form a ring of fire around the outer perimeter of the arena. Unholy water will spawn a number of orbs around the arena. Standing in these will suck players in, rendering them resistant to certain attacks. For now, you can avoid them. The boss will cast Aether Siphon and siphon water before casting Aether Spray, creating a knockback from the center of the room. Players can position themselves to avoid getting knocked into the fire or orbs by standing close to the center or using a knockback immunity. Total Wreck will target the tank with a heavy-hitting Tankbuster, cooldown, and heal. During the next Aether Siphon, the boss will siphon fire. This Aether Spray will deal an unavoidable blast over the platform. To avoid excess damage and debuffs, players can run into a water orb to get sucked in and become resistant to the fire attack. Poison Heart will mark a player for stack up. Stand together to share the incoming damage. All of these mechanics will repeat until the boss is down. In the final section of Trash, you'll have some pulls where extra adds attack you mid-fight. Tanks be ready to pick up any new adds as soon as possible. The final boss is Farbanu. Flames of Decay will deal group-wide damage. Healers be ready. When the boss casts Ethereal Disruption, the floor will be divided into red or white sections. Players will have to pay attention to which color is active, indicated by this giant red circle or white triangle over your screen. Move into the opposite colored section to avoid the explosions. During the next Ethereal Disruption, Crumbling Sky will also target players with large circle attacks. Spread these apart to avoid overlap while moving into the correct color section. Gnashing of Teeth will target the tank for high damage, cooldown, and heal. During the next Ethereal Disruption, players will have to deal with a knockback from the boss. Use a knockback immunity or pre-position to get knocked into the appropriate color section. Eventually, the boss will move to the edge and cast another Crumbling Sky. This time, the boss will fly away and spawn multiple sets of 3 comets in the air that will fall to the platform. Players will need to identify the gaps in the comment line and move to the corresponding section on the platform to avoid death. While this is happening, circle attacks will target the platform that will further limit the safe areas for players. Watch your feet as you dodge each comment set. Eventually, the boss will return to the platform and the mechanics will repeat until the boss is destroyed. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Up next, we head into Katis's Hyperborea. As always, thanks for watching. Till next time.